serious matter where I feel like our government's going to turn more to a military-based type of situation where police are going to be slowly segued out and the military is going to slowly take in.
You know what? There's like all that's coming to my mind right now is Donald Trump. Because I know how do you guys think Donald Trump is going to handle that situation?
If we were to get to a military state?
Yeah, or just dealing with police officers in general with the police brutality. Like, how do you think that he would deal with that?
It stopped working, so I don't know what he's doing.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Sorry about that, you guys. We actually have huge feedback that's coming back with the audience members, so it's kind of making the system kind of wonky. So we're working with it right now. So we do apologize about that. But
any thoughts? I said, how do you think Donald Trump would deal with like police brutality if he were to actually get in office? Because I feel like he's very, he's with how
I think Trump
opinionated he is, and
Trump is a good talker, but I feel like when push comes to shove, he doesn't have the right perception of America. America, in his eyes, it's a very like tunnel vision type of idea of what America is. The reason why I think so is when you have an interview and somebody's asking you about how you started off your business, and your idea of struggling is asking for a small $1 million loan. There's your perception of America and its economy is wonky. When you acknowledge the fact that you use the laws made by the government to cheat your way out of being able to filing bankruptcy, I mean, you're the same person who contributed to half of these people's campaigns that allow these laws to come into place. So you saying that you're not being how do you say it, like corrupted by corporate America accepting any donations? Yeah, you're not, because you're part of corporate America. You're skipping the middleman. You're the man. So like, why would you need anybody else to campaign for yourself when you're the one who usually contributes to all these campaigns anyway? Yeah. So
let's see what he's saying right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's because you click.
Did.
All right, sorry about that, guys.
Casper's taking over my computer again.
My goodness.
Okay. So
I know. Yeah, I can hear everything else.
Kirill, can you talk to us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I can hear you guys, but the Fox feed doesn't work. It's not any sound.
Can you move it to that?
Oh, that doesn't do anything because it's like a user.
Victor, can you again just explain on your own words, not through me? Just again, please, and explain.
Oh, he's the developer guy.
Oh, well.
So he's in Greece right now.
An
Oh no. But while we're waiting, we do apologize, you guys. Everyone that's watching us in the queue and also inside DINtv, we do apologize.
Can you hear me?
But we're gonna go ahead and continue discussing the topics while our tech team works on the kinks. But as of right now, do you guys think that from what we watched so far, Trump has a real chance of like maybe overtaking the Republican Party, even though he's already the front runner? Do you think like he solidified his place?
I do, and I also think, I do, because he's so confident, and I feel like that like I said before on the last show, I think that definitely plays a huge part in it, and he's definitely outspoken, and sometimes that that slaps him in the face a little bit. But I also think Cruz is just doing awesome as well, and I feel like they said the poll went up for him more recently. So
I like him a lot better this debate than the last one that he did. He seems a lot more confident in this one, and a lot of the stuff.
He did his research.
A lot of the stuff he's saying really does have a good point to it. I like how Bush kind of took back a lot of the viewership when it comes to that whole stance with the Muslim thing. How he went against Trump. So that kind of like segregated a lot of the people that were Republicans.
That's kind of what I wanted to talk about when that came on. What do you guys think about? Because I know it was in a last debate, but the whole
banning Muslims.
Yeah, and him not taking it back.
I think it's an obnoxious statement. I think he's generalizing a small group of people.
Generalizing.
I mean, it's a.
Oh, you mean? Yes, it's a big difference that just gets people scared.
People need to understand that Muslim doesn't mean Syria.
One thing to open in front of big crowd, it's okay, but another thing to measure that how other countries and the entire population will perceive your statements. So. Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course, I respect Trump in case that he has a balls to say something.
Exactly.
Just to point out, to bring up some issues. But then, after that, he fails because he obviously cannot handle situation in order to keep it peacefully, at least.
Well, here's another side to it, and I don't mean to cut you off, but do you think that because I feel like I'm all over the place,
You're fine.
and maybe I'm a little bit more opinionated.
No, it's fine.
Say whatever you feel.
I think that. Do you think it's 2016 now? The end of 2015 obviously wasn't too good with with violence, ISIS, everything that's going on, police brutality. Do you think people are a little more butthurt, a little more sensitive? I know he did say
Muslims.
Muslims.
It's a very generalized word. Exactly. It's like saying ban all black people. Imagine if you heard somebody.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I agree with you.
It's the same exact thing. So it's because that's why I come back to the perception. He lives in a tunnel vision perception of America that a lot of the majority of the upper middle class and upper class live in, where they don't see the world as people, not minorities, having a harder time of obtaining the things that they have. They see it as, I worked as hard. If you work just as hard as me, you can get just as far as me.
No one has the stuff that he has.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, it's just what's making people upset is that this is somebody who's going to represent America to the other nations. So who are we as America, when we're established on being illegal immigrants coming into a country, fleeing from something and trying to create something better? Who are we to take that away from other people who want to do that,
Yeah.
And adding a stigma on it where Muslim equals ISIS now at this point. Now, a lot of Americans feel that way. A lot of Americans won't even mention ISIS and just say Muslim just to cover up that word too. So it's like setting that stigma when you have that reach.
In attempt to fix the issue. Just create one more issue.
There's a difference between creating buzz for a reality show or for any type of drama.
Exactly.
Kim Kardashian buzz is different than you're talking about
reality shows.
Yeah, this is national security. This is national problems. You don't do things just for shock value, just to prove a point when it comes to people's actual lives and people. I mean, you're talking about a Muslim mom or a Muslim dad who has to go through walking the streets in America and having people tell them, "Ew, get out of here," or do this or do that because of a stigma that you perpetuated on TV.
On the other hand, Kevin, I recently was in Michigan, and there is some cities where, here in the US, when you in the middle of that city, you feel yourself like you're in the Pakistan, because all titles on the all buildings they written in Arabic.
Mhm.
You barely can see any English name
Uh-huh.
on the street. It's like you're in the Middle
We
East.
need a weak person being president of the United States, okay? Because that's what we'd get if it were Jeff. I'll tell you what, we don't need that. We don't
Wow.
need that. That's
He said,
essentially what we have.
if Jeff becomes president, he's going to be
That's
weak.
why we're in the trouble that we're now. And by the way, Jeff, you
It's
mentioned Boeing.
embarrassed looking.
Take a look. They order planes. They make Boeing build their plant in China. They don't want them made here. They want those planes made in China. That's not the way the game is supposed to be played.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. Very briefly.
Hey, my name
Go
was
ahead.
mentioned. My name was mentioned here. The simple
You
fact
got
is that the plane that's being built here is being sold to China. You can if you flew in with your 767, didn't you? Right there, right next to the plant.
No, the new planes. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about in the future. They're building massive plants in China because China does not want Boeing building their planes here. They want it built in China because China happens to be smart the way they do it, not the way we do it.
You head back to
China is very
Go
smart.
check and see.
He's right.
I'll check for you.
He's right.
They disguise these jobs that they give to Americans as like
Thanks for coming back,
treaties type
Maria.
of things, agreements with the government.
Both Donald and Jeb have good points. And there is a middle ground. Donald is right that China is running over President Obama like he is a child, that President Obama is not protecting American workers, and we are getting hammered. You know, I sat down with the senior leadership of John Deere. They discussed how hard it is to sell tractors in China because all the regulatory barriers, they're protectionist. But Jeb is
course.
also right that if we just impose a tariff, they'll put
Especially in
reciprocal
China.
tariffs, which will hurt Iowa farmers and South Carolina producers and 20% of the American jobs that depend on exports. So the way you do it is you pass a tax plan like the tax plan I've introduced, a simple flat tax, 10% for individuals and a 16% business flat tax. You abolish the IRS. And here's the critical point, Maria. The business flat tax enables us to abolish the corporate income tax, the death tax, the Obamacare taxes, the payroll taxes.
It works now, I
and
see
they're
it.
border adjustable. So every export pays no taxes whatsoever. It's tax-free, a huge advantage for our farmers and ranchers and manufacturers. And every import pays the 16% business flat tax. It's like a tariff, but here's the difference. If we impose a tariff, China responds. The business flat tax, they already impose their taxes on us, so there's no reciprocal tariffs that come against us. It puts us on a level, even playing field, which brings jobs here at home. And as president, I'm going to fight for the working men and women.
Maria, but what he leaves out is-
We've got to get to tax reform, gentlemen. We've got to get to tax reform.
Yeah, but I want to talk about taxes.
We've got to get to the national debt as well. Coming up next, the growing national debt, the war on crime, tax reform. More from North Charleston, South Carolina, when we come right back.
That come against us, it puts us on a level, even playing field, which brings jobs here at home.
All right, so you guys, we're on a mediator page. Hello. Hello. Okay,
All
perfect.
right.
All right. So as of right now, we saw a pretty heated debate when it comes to Trump and Jeb Bush. He pretty much called him a wimp in front of national.
Look at his reaction. He seems so like embarrassed.
I mean, of course, that's national. That's a
But this is a
national.
debate. Like, stand your
Yeah,
ground.
but you don't expect people to like name call you. Like, how do you?
Well,
Expect,
once you're running against Trump, you better know it's,
but you know what? Trump
it's coming.
Trump feeds off of the energy that the people give him in the crowd. Had he not gotten that reaction when he said that, Jeb Bush wouldn't have felt how he felt. And Trump loves that. He loves making people feel bad about themselves. Look at Rosie O'Donnell, like just going for the jugular when in fact he can't even like stand too close to the wind or his toupee will fall off.
Oh, okay. Who is the Prime Minister of Scotland? What's his name?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
He made the joke about Trump wearing a toupee.
I mean, Trump is a movie star. He's a celebrity to me. Like, he's more or less a personality. I don't see him president material at all. I don't see president when I see him. I see rich little white boy who got into the family business, and was able to somewhat be able to handle it because of the connections that he knows from his family.
Somewhat, I mean, let's be real here. He's a billionaire and he's a successful businessman.
I wouldn't say successful in a sense because a lot of his schools that he has open, which are not accredited and are under a lot of investigations.
But look at everything else he's done. He's not.
He's filed for bankruptcy about 3 times already.
Yeah, but he's a billionaire now.
Yeah, because of the loopholes that he helped create with the endorsements that he gives to the other presidents.
How many things he already can tackle right now, though?
Like what?
I mean, like just ownership of everything.
I mean, anybody can own. I mean, Hitler owned a lot of things. His ideology was not on par with morality.
I feel like Hitler's a completely different.
See, I can say I ban all Muslims. If I say it and I feel it and I mean it, I mean, anybody can say it and feel it and mean it. Doesn't make it right, you know? Doesn't make it logical.
No, it's not right.
So just because you can confidently be obnoxious doesn't mean like you should be president, you know? Yeah, he sounds good when he says it. Yeah, he says stuff that your drunk uncle says at a party, but he's just running for president. You're like, you don't take him seriously, but it's funny to listen to him and it's just like, Uncle George, what are you doing? What are you saying, man? Go back on the couch. That's what Trump is. He's just that funny uncle that's just now running for president, and now we're getting kind of scared because he might actually win. So
might actually win, I think.
It's going to be between him and Hillary. It's sad to say about Bernie.
You think it's going to be Hillary?
Yeah, because they're not talking about Bernie anymore, and they're focusing more on Hillary. And that's anytime you see them do that, it's because that's the person that they want to see run against. Because if they bring up Bernie is literally the perfect candidate for president. I think he is awesome, and I think he would be an awesome president. It would give a new fresh eye on the government, because I feel like the government is just full of businessmen and lawyers, and we don't have educators or people that work in other fields that could add a different perspective instead of just logics and numbers, you know? So I think he would be a good fit. Hillary is the best contender in a sense because of the corporate.
Like how she wants to handle ISIS.
I mean, who best to handle it than the person who helped create it?
She's under investigation.
I mean, who best to handle it than the person who helped create it?
She's under investigation with the FBI right now or something. I heard earlier in the debate.
Yeah, she got caught. Trump just hasn't gotten caught yet or had anything leaked yet.
Do you guys have more information about
she's under investigation because her stuff, her business got leaked, and now she's in hot water because she has to prove all that stuff. Trump hasn't been leaked yet. He hasn't had anything major leak about him. He's just obnoxiously obnoxious. Obnoxious stuff.
So someone made a valid point earlier in the debate. I think within like the first hour, they said, I mean, if Hillary was president and she did win this election, who wants a president who would have to go back and forth between court and actually dealing with the country? Like, how are you going to focus on ruling the country when the first like few weeks when we're already in like ISIS is happening now? You have to be prepared. You have to be able to, send out like you have to know what you're doing and handle the current situation rather than dealing with that.
But then, so you feel like somebody who holds a huge chain of hotels and other businesses and schools has the time to do it?
I think no. I just don't. Honestly, I just think it should be Republican. Period. I'm not for. I said I do like some of Trump's ideas. However, yeah, he's obnoxious and he's a little bit of an extremist. But
he would just be a really I feel like if you were to get in a heated argument in the UN office, I feel like he'd be such a sore loser.
Oh, and
he'd be like
every country would hate him.
He would be such a sore loser. He would literally just be like, "Hey, I want this to work. Why is this not working for me? I usually get everything I want. I want this to work, and I want it to work now."
Definitely with international relations, everyone would hate him. And we, like all of our allies would, it would deteriorate.
He has a very jockey type of vibe to him where it's like you only take him serious because he's so abrasive and his personality is so in your face. It's just like you only like him because
it's like a Kanye West effect, right? He's so confident that's why some people like him. And he's a little bit obnoxious, arrogant, and that's exactly like.
If anything I can give Trump is he's always been true to himself. He's always been Trump. He's not changing himself up for the election. And I think Hillary lost a lot of ground with the whole email scandal, and also she's very iffy when with her politics. She jumps back and forth. 1 minute she's pro this, 1 minute she's not against this. It's just too iffy when it comes to that, and people want to feel assured, even though I don't think any president has ever made us feel assured about anything, but the illusion of assuredness that we want for a president, like she doesn't really give us that. I get very matronly, like, go home knit type of vibe from her.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Alina, do you want to see Hillary as president? She's like frozen in time.
She's frozen in time.
What about you?
Amanda?
Amanda, please.
I can't. Oh, hi.
Hi. Welcome.
So, we have a female running for president, Hillary Clinton. How do you feel about her running? Do you think that she has a chance, or should she just stay home and cook?
You can hear us? Can you hear me? No? Can the rest of you guys hear us?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Hi. I don't hear anything, but
we can hear you. We hear you. Okay. What I'm gonna go. I'm gonna refresh your screen and then see if that works for you. Okay. I know she couldn't hear me.
Okay. Another thing that I always in the early beginning of all the debates, one of my big concerns, and being a woman, it's great seeing like a woman run. However, there's a lot of men in this country that I feel like won't take her seriously. So that's one of my concerns. I'm not saying I'm not ready for a woman president, but do you think that everyone's ready for a female? Ready
or not, here she comes. I mean, you don't really have a choice at this point. Let's go ahead and see what Donald's saying about that.
We have so many companies are going to leave our country.
Which is why we raise it. Senator Rubio, thank you, Mr. Trump.
Thank you.
One of the biggest fiscal challenges facing our country is our entitlement programs, particularly Social Security and Medicare. What policies will you put forward to make sure these programs are more financially secure?
Well, first, let me address the tax issue because it's related to the entitlement issue. And I want to thank you for holding a substantive debate where we can have debates about these key issues on taxes. Here's the one thing.
Who are you? You just showed him out of nowhere.
I'm not going to have something that Ted described in his tax plan. It's called a value-added tax. It is a tax you find in many companies in Europe, where basically businesses now will have to pay a tax both on the money they make, but they also have to pay taxes on the money they pay their employees. And that's why they have it in Europe, because it's a way to blindfold the people. That's what Ronald Reagan said. Ronald Reagan opposed the VAT tax because he said it was a way to blindfold the people so the true cost of government was not there for them. Now, you can support one now that's very low, but what is to prevent a future liberal president or liberal Congress from coming back and not just raising the income tax, but also raising that VAT tax? And that VAT tax is really bad for seniors, because seniors, if they are retired, are no longer earning an income from a job, and therefore they don't get the income tax break. But their prices are going to be higher
the cutest one on the stage.
She's embedded in both the prices that businesses are charging and in the wages they pay their employees. When I am president of the United States, I'm going to side with Ronald Reagan on this and not Nancy Pelosi, and we are not having a VAT tax.
Thank you, Senator.
Maria, I assume I can respond to that.
Yes, of course.
Well, Marco has been floating this attack for a few weeks now, but the problem is the business flat tax in my proposal is not a VAT. A VAT is imposed as a sales tax when you buy a good. This is a business flat tax. It is imposed on businesses, and a critical piece that Marco seems to be missing is that this 16% business flat tax enables us to eliminate the corporate income tax. It goes away. It enables us to eliminate the death tax. If you're a farmer, if you're a rancher, if you're a small business owner, the death tax is gone. We eliminate the payroll tax. We eliminate the Obamacare taxes. And listen, there's a real difference between Marco's tax plan and mine. Mine gives every American a simple flat tax of 10%. Marco's top tax rate is 35%. My tax plan enables you to fill out your taxes on a postcard so we can abolish the IRS. Marco leaves the IRS code in with all of the complexity. We need to break
Look at the camera. Why are you looking down?
And the only way to do it is with all the subsidies and all the and have a simple flat tax. The final observation, he invoked Ronald Reagan. I would note that Art Laffer, Ronald Reagan's chief economic advisor, has written publicly that my simple flat tax is the best tax plan of any of the individuals on this stage because it produces economic growth. It raises
He's my
wages.
favorite out of all of them, honestly. He's a good mixture of Trump, but still like not as obnoxious as him.
Because
he still has that like.
First of all, you may rename the IRS, but you're not going to abolish the IRS because there has to be some agency that's going to collect your VAT tax. Someone's going to be collecting this tax. In fact, Ronald Reagan's Treasury, when Ronald Reagan's Treasury looked at the VAT tax, you know what they found? That they were going to have to hire 20,000 new IRS agents to collect it. The second point, it doesn't eliminate the corporate tax or the payroll tax. Businesses will now have to pay 16% on the money they make. They will also have to pay 16% on the money they pay their employees. So there are people watching tonight in business. If you are now hit on a 60% tax on both your income and on the wages you pay your employees, where are you going to get that money from? You're going to get it by paying your employees less and charging your customers more. That is a tax. The difference is you don't see it on the bill. And that's why Ronald Reagan said that it was a blindfold. You blindfold the American people so they cannot see the true cost of government. Now, 16% is at the rate Ted wants it at. But what happens if, God forbid, the next Barack Obama takes over and the next Nancy Pelosi and the next Harry Reid, and they decide we're going to raise it to 30%.
You said that perfectly. I don't really want to hear him right now.
Maria,
So now that we've seen so far, like what was
getting heated.
I don't understand. Like I would respect the Republicans if they're saying this. But what was this all this talk about the president when Bush was in office? Bush was doing a lot of messed up things and making all types of mistakes, and they would never call him out on it.
What do you mean?
Republicans never want to like call out their own house, like their own party. They'll never just say like, you know, Bush's policies are like what's setting back the American government at this point. Because when the Freedom Act was released, it was right when Bush was about to get out of office. So, no, that was 2001. Barack Obama got into office in what, 2008, right?
2008, yes, because 16.
Yeah. So, pretty much, Obama got into office when we were about to get into an economic collapse. So, I don't understand why people, like, want to blame previous years of damage on one person's candidacy that's only 8 years. You can't fix 50 plus years of economic damage in 8 years.
But isn't there the biggest gap now between the richest rich and the poorest poor?
But those
people are getting
of course
rich are now more rich and
definitely
people are now more poor.
Those laws got time to be actually used. So that 8 years they were able to accumulate all that money with those laws that Bush put into place. So that when Obama came into office, he had to deal with the repercussions of what's going on. Now, mind you, a lot of the things that Obama does, I do not agree with.
Yes.
When it comes to the whole droid type of the drone situation, a lot of people don't know, but a huge whistleblower leaked a lot of information when it comes to the drone practices that happen overseas and how they take care of the suspected terrorists and how a lot of their drone strikes only have a 1% success rate and 99%.
I saw a video.
And 99%. How do you say casualty? Where the person that they were aiming to get wasn't the person they killed. They
like
killed
children,
people around them.
families.
Yeah.
I saw a video of that and it was insane.
Exactly. So a lot of these things, everything has its pros and cons. It's just like us as Americans need to be informed on what's going on. Like, you need to realize as an American, they're not going to tell you this information. You have to go out there and look for it. I bring this up to a lot of people about this whole whistleblower thing with Obama, and people don't even know about drone strikes and the policies that Obama and Hillary put into place when it pertains to overseas handling on stuff like that.
People are ignorant and they want to believe what's in front of their eyes or what they hear. And I think a lot of it has to do with the media too. You know, media controlling the information that gets out.
And it's coping. It's some people can honestly, some people just would rather just not live inside a bubble in a sense where they're okay with the existence that they live right now. I'm a person where I need to know what I'm living in. Like I don't live in a foggy mirror. I need to be able to see a clear reflection. Like, yeah, Trump, you're saying all this stuff. What are you using to back it up? How are you going to fix my economy? What practices do you suggest that we put into place that would help the economy?
He thinks, I know one thing he said with the economy, I think we had this talk the other day. you know how the minimum wage actually went up for some states? He thinks that people should actually get paid less and then more jobs will be created. I'm not really sure how that would work, but
Really?
yeah, that's one of his views.
Let's create more poor people so they will be more happy.
Not more
Like
poor
this?
people, but he doesn't think that the minimum wage should be
General
as
logic,
high.
yes.
He is a businessman. Of course, business people want to pay their.
Okay, I understand, but
People not
business
see
people
this.
have to balance all pros and cons. If their employees don't happy, they just leave the country eventually and the citizens.
Europe might soon start blocking you.
And-
You might not even be able to
The
go back
country
to
will
Russia.
be,
For us now.
welcome more Chinese people. They will happy to work like for $5 per hour, I think.
I mean, I think they're already here.
Not
I mean, everywhere you go, you see them.
Oh, believe me, not all of them.
Really? If I go to a beauty shop right now, I'll see 2 right now.
Chinese?
Yeah.
A beauty shop?
Yeah, beauty store or the laundromat. I'll see one. You see them everywhere. They're everywhere. They have businesses everywhere.
Yeah, they very good businessmen actually.
And Middle Eastern people.
Yes.
You see them a lot.
Corner store,
Like they're everywhere.
everywhere.
They know each other. They all know each other. Like honestly, I go to this this corner store that's, you know, the drive-through ones that you can just like drive through and get it. They all like,
What? Where did this exist?
farm store.
No.
It's like the best invention ever. It's
Never
like
heard of that.
it's literally
Is
a
that-
corner store that you can drive through. So you just drive through, tell them what you want, they take it out of the corner store, and you pay them, and you just in your car the whole
Where?
time. Right there on 163rd. Or
But what you
GPS
can
map.
buy there? What you can buy there?
Is this a chain?
It's just like going into like 7-Eleven, literally. Except you just drive through, and then you just tell them what you want. Like, I want a Red Bull, this and that, and they get it for you, and you just pay.
That
while you're in
sounds
your
like
car.
that. I've never heard of that.
Do you know how many times I've woken out of bed and just gotten in my car, not even care how I look, and I was just like, I can just drive through. I
Do
don't
they
have to go
have
inside.
it in like I live in downtown Miami. Do you know if they have?
Oh, girl, no.
No, they don't have any. Look at the
You live in,
gas
like-
station.
You live in like
No gas station in downtown Miami.
you're in the middle of the hipster transition in downtown Miami. Like it's like,
Let's listen that Trump saying my favorite.
No, I built a very great
Great.
company, but if I become president, I couldn't care less about my company. It's peanuts. I want to use that
Hey
same
guys,
up here, whatever it may be, to make America rich again and to
Start
make
him,
America
start him.
great again. I have Ivanka and Eric and Don sitting there. Run the company, kids. Have a good time. I'm going to do it for America.
I bet he was waiting so long to say that line. He cares. He
I don't
cares.
know if it's a blind trust. to be
He's giving up his
Don and Eric
businesses just for me.
Is
I
that a
feel
blind
so
trust? I don't
happy and
know. But I
lucky.
would probably have my children run it with my executives, and I wouldn't ever be involved because I wouldn't care about anything but our country. Anything.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Governor Christie, going back,
I don't believe any of that for a second. The fact that he corrected him when he said 8 votes instead of 11.
Yes,
You think he's gonna let his children
Yes.
mess up his company? Bye, Trump.
right?
violent crime has been spiking, sometimes by double-digit rate in 30 cities across the country. Milwaukee's police chief Ed Flynn says most local law enforcement officials feel abandoned by Washington. Former NYC police chief Ray Kelly says that police are being less proactive because they're being overly scrutinized and second-guessed, and they're afraid of being sued or thrown in jail. What would you do as president to address that?
Well, first off, let's face it, the FBI director, Jim Comey, was a friend of mine who I worked with as U.S. Attorney in New Jersey. He was the U.S. Attorney in Manhattan. He said it. There's a chill wind blowing through law enforcement in this country, and here's why. The President of the United States and both his attorneys general, they give the benefit of the doubt to the criminal, not to the police officer. That's the truth of the matter. And you see it every time with this president. Every time he's got a chance. Going all the way back to, remember that great beer summit he had after he messed up that time. This is a guy who just believes that law enforcement are the bad guys.
Okay, he was asked
For
what
7
he
years, he
will
was U.S.
do.
Attorney in New Jersey.
And again,
I worked with not only federal agents, but with police officers. And here's the
with his
problem.
presidency.
Sanctuary cities is part of the problem in this country. That's where crime is
Okay,
happening in these
Obama
cities. They
raided
don't
police.
enforce the
Okay, we got
immigration
it,
law.
we got it.
And this president
What
turns
you will do?
this president doesn't enforce the marijuana laws in this country because he doesn't agree with them. And he allows states to go ahead and do whatever they want on a substance that's illegal. This president allows
Yeah, because you guys make so much money incarcerating everybody who uses it. Why would you want to just launch it?
And I would have one very brief conversation with that attorney general.
All the private sector jails that you have
Enforce the law,
funding your campaign. You don't want to upset
fairly, and
them.
aggressively, make our streets safe again, make our police officers proud of what they do, but more important than that, let them know how proud we are of them. We do that, this country will be safe and secure again, not only from criminals, but from the terrorists who threaten us as well. I'm the only person on the stage who's done that, and we will get it done as President of the United States.
I'm so over this war on police.
So many
Police, I should say, back and forth.
Especially priests, yeah.
Police shootings.
What do you say?
We want what?
You got to deal with kind of.
Why you wore a red tie? Go ahead.
We want red. That's what they were saying. We want red.
State. What do you make of Chicago's move recently to sort of retrain police? Maybe make them not so quick to use their guns.
So I created a task force well over a year ago. And the purpose was to bring law enforcement, community people, clergy, and the person that I named is one of the co-chairmen is a lady by the name of Nina Turner, former state senator, a liberal Democrat,
Knowing that
ran against one of my
your
friends,
family
and our head of
are
public
real
safety.
good ones.
Yeah.
And they sat down as a group,
I get it.
trying to make sure that we can begin to heal some of these problems that
It's
we
not fair
see
for the ones who
between
actually
community
are
and
good.
police. And they came back with
And not all of them
23
are going to let them
recommendations.
get into the job.
One of
because
it
they
is
wanna
a
protect you.
statewide use
My
of
brother got
deadly
the job
force.
because he wants to.
And it is now being put into place every place across the state of Ohio. Secondly, a policy on recruiting and hiring, and then more resources for training. But let me also tell you, one of the issues has got to be the integration of both community and police. Community has to understand that that police officer wants to get home at night and not to lose their life. Their family's waiting for them. At the same time, law enforcement understands there are people in the community who not only think that the system doesn't work for them, but works against them. See, in Ohio, we've had some controversial decisions, but the leaders have come forward to realize that protest is fine, but violence is wrong. And it has been a remarkable situation in our state.
You the research study to tell you that?
It's all about communication, folks. It's all about getting people to listen to one another's problems. And when you do that, you will be amazed at how much progress you can make and how much healing we can have. Because, folks, at the end of the day, the country needs healed. I've heard a lot of hot rhetoric here tonight, but I'm going to tell you, as somebody that actually has the budget that paid down $500 billion of our national debt, you can't do it alone. You got to bring people together. You got to give people hope, and together we can solve these problems that hurt us and heal America. And that is what's so critical for our neighborhoods, our families, our children, and our grandchildren.
Senator Rubio.
He's a really nice president.
The U.S. is on track to issue more new permanent immigrants on green cards over the next 5 years than the entire population of South Carolina. The CBO says your 2013 immigration bill would have increased green card holders by another 10 million over 10 years. Why are you so interested in opening up borders to foreigners when American workers have a hard enough time finding work?
Well, first of all, this is an issue that's been debated now for 30 years. And for 30 years, the issue of immigration has been about someone who's in this country. Maybe they're here illegally, but they're looking for a job. This issue is not about that anymore. First and foremost, this issue has to be now, more than anything else, about keeping America safe. And here's why. There is a radical jihadist group that is manipulating our immigration system, and not just green cards. They're recruiting people to enter this country as doctors and engineers and even fiancés. They understand the vulnerabilities we have on the southern border. They're looking to manipulate the visa waiver countries to get people into the United States. So our number one priority must now become ensuring that ISIS cannot get killers into the United States. So whether it's green cards or any other form of entry into America, when I'm president, if we do not know who you are or why you are coming, you are not going to get into the United States of America.
So your thinking has changed.
The issue is a dramatically different issue than it was 24 months ago. 24 months ago, 36 months ago, you did not have a group of radical crazies named ISIS who were burning people in cages and recruiting people to enter our country legally. They have a sophisticated understanding of our legal immigration system, and we now have an obligation to ensure that they are not able to use that system against us. The entire system of legal immigration must now be re-examined for security first and foremost, with an eye on ISIS, because they're recruiting people to enter this country as engineers, posing as doctors, posing as refugees. We know this for a fact. They've contacted trafficking networks in the Western Hemisphere to get people into the southern border. And they got a killer in San Bernardino posing as a fiancé. This issue is now has to be about stopping ISIS entering the United States. And when I'm president, we will.
Thank you, Senator.
Maria.
I don't think it's just much cheaper to
Islamic terrorism
the kids on the web
24 months ago, we had Al-Qaeda, we had Boko Haram, we had Hamas, we had Hezbollah, we had Iran putting operatives in South America and Central America. It's the reason why I stood with Jeff Sessions and Steve King and led the fight to stop the Gang of Eight amnesty bill, because it was clear then, like it's clear now, that border security is national security.
Thank you, Senator.
But Maria,
It is also the case.
So they do like final statements on what they
one of the things it did is it expanded Barack Obama's power to let in Syrian refugees. It enabled him, the president, to certify them in mass without mandating meaningful background checks. I think that's a mistake. That's why I've been leading the fight to stop it. And I would note, the Senate just a few weeks ago voted to suspend refugees from Middle Eastern countries. I voted yes to suspend that. Marco voted on the other side. So you don't get to say we need to secure the borders and at the same time try to give Barack Obama more authority to allow Middle Eastern refugees coming in when the head of the FBI tells us they cannot vet them to determine if they are ISIS terrorists.
Maria, let me clear something up here. This is an interesting point when you talk about immigration. Ted Cruz, you used to say you supported doubling the number of green cards. Now you say that you're against it. You used to support a 500% increase in the number of guest workers. Now you say that you're against it. You used to support legalizing people that were here illegally. Now you say you're against it.
Didn't you just say it was a different circumstance 24 months ago?
Now you say that you are against it. And by the way, it's not just on immigration. You used to support TPA. Now you say you're against it. I saw you on the Senate floor flip your vote on crop insurance because they told you it would help you in Iowa. And last week we all saw you flip your vote on ethanol in Iowa.
Once they guys beat each other, they won't eventually become.
Political calculation.
Yeah,
when I'm president, I will work consistently every single day.
Also,
keep
what's
this
wrong with
country
changing
safe,
your mind?
not call Edward Snowden.
You're more educated, right?
Public servant.
That's why these guys don't like going on record with a lot of their stances. That's probably why Donald Trump hasn't really gone into details about his policies.
Every single time,
because people would literally
three people
rip it apart, from
Bernie Sanders, Rand Paul, and Ted Cruz. In fact, the only budget you have ever voted for, Ted, in your entire time in the Senate is a budget from Rand Paul that brags about how it cuts defense. Here's the bottom line, and I'll close with this. If I'm president of the United States and Congress tries to cut the military, I will veto that in a millisecond.
I'm going to need a response to that, Neil. There's no way he lost 11 attacks. He had no fewer than 11 attacks there. I appreciate your dumping your Oppo research folder on the debate.
No, it's your record.
But I will say,
you think they like each other?
At least half of the things Marco said
You like a kids, no?
false.
You kindergarten.
Absolutely false. So let's start.
You're fool. No, you're fool.
Let's start with immigration and have a little bit of clarity. Marco stood with Chuck Schumer and Barack Obama on amnesty. I stood with Jeff Sessions and Steve King.
I did this, so I did this.
Marco supports legalization and citizenship for 12 million each.
Where is your plan, guys? Where is your plan?
Legalization and citizenship. And by the way, the attack he keeps throwing out on the military budget, Marco knows full well I voted for his amendment to increase military spending to $697 billion. What he said, and he said in the last debate, it's simply
that's ridiculous. That's how we need to
All right, we have to stop. I know you have very
Finally, okay.
Governor Bush, fears have gripped this country, obviously, and you touched on earlier, since the San Bernardino attacks. Since our last debate, the national conversation has changed, according to Facebook data as well. Now, this first graphic shows the issues that were most talked about right before those attacks and now after.
Government ethics. It's like the biggest one. I love it.
ISIS now loom very large. The FBI says Islamic radicals are using social media to communicate and that it needs better access to communication. Now, the CEO of Apple, Governor Tim Cook, says, unless served with a warrant, private communication is private, period.
Period.
Do you
Point
agree,
blank.
or would you try to convince him otherwise?
I would try to convince him otherwise, but this last back and forth between two backbench senators, you know, it explains why we have the mess in Washington, D.C.
Oh,
We have
yes.
a president that will fix our immigration laws and stick with it, not bend with the wind. The simple fact is, one of the ways, Maria, to solve the problem you described is narrow the number of people coming by family petitioning to what every other country has, so that we have the best and the brightest that come to our country. We need to control the border. We need to do all of this in a comprehensive way, not just going back and forth and talking about
You
stuff.
answered this question.
Oh, I'll talk about that too, but you haven't asked me a question in a while, Neil, so I thought I'd get that off my chest, if you don't mind.
So Tim Cook said he's going to keep it private.
I got that, and the problem today is there's no confidence in Washington, D.C. There needs to be more than just one meeting. There needs to be complete dialogue with the large technology companies. They understand that there's a national security risk. We ought to give them a little bit of a liability relief so that they share data amongst themselves and share data with the federal government. They're not fearful of a lawsuit. We need to make sure that we keep the country safe. This is the first priority. The cybersecurity challenges that we face, this administration has failed us completely.
You guys want to control the internet. You want to filter what we get and what we don't. You want to try to
23 million files in the hands of the Chinese.
Does the Jeb Bush seems smarter than his brother?
It's also our own government
They
needs to
talk-
raise the level of our game.
Policies are the
We should
same,
be in
different voice and
charge
tone.
of the civilian side
At
of this.
least he wouldn't start another war.
Needs to spread all across the government.
They both
and
have
needs
the
to be much more
same stances.
cooperation
He's just
with
the
private
older
sector.
brother,
No, Mr. President.
and
You got to keep asking.
George is like the cool younger brother
Because
that
this
all
is
the
a
girls
hugely
like.
important issue. If you
think
can
it's funny
encrypt
and
messages,
nice.
ISIS
You get what I'm
can,
saying?
over these platforms,
that's
and we have
funny.
no ability to have a cooperative
Do you
relationship.
ask or do you order?
Well, if the law would change, yeah, I think there has to be a recognition that if we are too punitive,
Just get off
then
the
you'll go
stage.
to other
Yeah.
technology
Where's
companies
Cruz?
outside the United States. And what we
I mean,
want
he
to
did
do
pull
is
this
to
thing
control
already.
this. We also want to dominate this from a commercial side. So there's a lot of balanced interests, but the president leads in this
With this
regard.
blogger, nothing
That's what
gets
we
me more
need. We
hyped for
need
leaving this
leadership,
country for
someone
6
who has a
months.
backbone and sticks with things rather than just talks about them as though anything matters when you're talking about amendments that don't even actually are part of a bill that ever passed.
Governor, thank you.
When we come right back, closing statements. Stay with us.
Okay.
Oh my
So,
gosh, I'm all trumped out, man. Trump is just draining my soul.
really?
The Republicans
So,
they just
you
have this
become
effect
some
on me.
his
It's just-
proponent.
What was that?
I mean, Kevin,
For a
do you
little change, I
become,
would.
yeah? Do you feel you're becoming his proponent?
Why don't you run for president?
I feel like I'm becoming, my IQ is becoming lesser and lesser of
After all this brainwashing, yes,
all
like,
this guns, ISIS, money, great, winner,
yeah, no. It's just like a danger.
danger.
There is the enemies.
In Trump's words, boom, boom, boom. When you say bomb, 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 he said, like, I don't know.
I'm over Bush. Like, we don't need another Bush.
Not at all.
Definitely. No. What do you
But
guys
I
think?
feel like if Hillary were to come on, it would be another Bush situation because they're like literally like this. They're all related. Like, but that's a whole other discussion. That gets into the conspiracy sides of things, and I could really scare you guys. But let's keep it to the GOP conversation.
Conspiracy.
Because I mean
But really, there is nothing to choose from. I mean, nobody is to choose from. Like, there is, I don't know. If to look at then on this Sunday, it will be Democratic debates and.
where are the independent debates? Where are the liberal debates? Why are we mixing these two parties?
It's the question.
You know, like when you think about it, are these real parties really different? Or are they just the same? Just voicing their opinions in different ways.
There is like a lot of other parties actually, and I remember in the last year, or not last year, the last elections, it was some independent debates on
What, YouTube? That's probably where they hosted it because like it needs to be on.
But by the way, YouTube is not bad.
Not bad for our generation, but our generation, if you think about it, we have the most to say about the government, and we don't even vote. We're the ones. We're the ones who are.
Do you think we have
us? We're the ones who. We're the ones that watch the debates and like, well, why aren't you answering this question? Why aren't you answering that question? And we don't vote. The people that vote for Trump and vote for these people are the people that are clapping for him and aren't really listening to what he has to say or asking the questions they should be asking him. Like, Trump, what do you mean by making America great? What are some policies that you're going to be implementing? No, you're just reacting to the idea of what he's going to do. So
I won't be surprised if Trump wins.
I wouldn't either. At that point, I mean, I think if Trump were to win, America's standing in the sense of reputation will go down dramatically.
Okay, in 2012, there is third party presidential debate, and there are like 4, even 5 candidates from Libertarian Party, Green Party, and what else? Like something else.
Okay, they're back. Let's go ahead and see their closing statements and see what they're gonna.
Okay.
What kind of bull they're gonna tell us right now.
Like a lobbyist, if they're not wealthy, that somehow they don't get to play. But all of my career, having been raised by a mailman father whose father was a coal miner who died of black lung and was losing his eyesight, or a mother whose mother could barely speak English. You see, all of my career, I've thought about giving voice to the people that I grew up with and voice to the people that elected me. Whether it's welfare reform and getting something back for the hard-earned taxpayers, whether it's engaging in Pentagon reform and taking on the big contractors that were charging thousands of dollars for hammers and screwdrivers and ripping us off, or whether it's taking on the special interests in the nursing home industry in Ohio so that mom and dad can have the ability to stay in their own home rather than being forced in a nursing home. Look, that's who I stand up for. That's who's in my mind's eye. And if you really want to believe that you can get your voice back, I will tell you, as I have all my career, I will continue to fight for you because you're the ones that built this country and will carry it into the future. Thank you.
Governor Bush, who can you count on to keep us safer, stronger, and freer?
God.
Not you. And as governor, I pushed Florida up to the top in terms of jobs, income, and small business growth.
I'm in here right now. I'm not seeing none of that.
I believe that the plan I've laid out to destroy ISIS before the tragedies of San Bernardino and Paris are the right ones. Credibility counts. There'll be people here that will talk about what they're going to do. I've done it. I ask for your support to build together a safer and stronger America.
That's speechwriters. No.
Episode 8.
Neil, thank you for a great debate tonight. When I think about the folks who are out there at home tonight watching, and I think about what they had to watch this week, the spectacle they had to watch at the floor of the House of Representatives, with the President of the United States,
his look bothers me.
Talked a fantasy land about the way they're feeling. They know that this country is not respected around the world anymore. They know that this country is pushing.
To me, like a Flintstones type of vibe. You know, Flintstones are a movie.
And they saw a president who doesn't understand their pay and doesn't have any plan for getting away from it. I love this country. It's the most exceptional country in the world.
It is not the most exceptional country in the world. It is very
with my whole life fighting for things that I believe for justice, to protect people from crime, fighting to stand up.
That's like, I love that show.
I'm gonna blast him with newsroom right now.
Opportunity to get more and to stand up and fight against the special interests. But here's the best way that we're going to make America much more exceptional. It is to make sure we put someone on that stage in September who will fight Hillary Clinton and make sure she knows.
And every time he says something, he's shaking his head like this. You cannot do this. When you say the statement, you cannot shake head like this.
You know what? In recent travels around this country, I've encountered so many Americans.
Ben Carson's a handsome man, though. He's handsome.
And angry.
It's just his personality.
Freedom and security and the American
He's like a typical Tinder date.
Away under an unresponsive government.
Tinder date?
That is
literally, you look good on Tinder.
Let's listen to you. Let's listen.
We're not going to solve this problem with traditional politics. The only way we're going to solve this problem is with we, the people. And I ask you to join me in truth, in honesty and integrity.
Keep preaching. Okay.
BenCarson.com. We will heal, inspire, and revive America for our children.
Amen. Okay.
I love this little pose.
200 years ago, America was founded on this powerful principle that our rights don't come from government. Our rights come from God. That's why we embrace free enterprise, and it made us the most prosperous people in the history of the world. That's why we embraced individual liberty, and we became the freest people ever. And the result was the American miracle. But now as I travel the country, people say what I feel. This country is changing. It feels different. We feel like we're being left behind and left out, and the reason is simple.
God's not
Because in
here.
2008, we elected as president someone who wasn't interested in fixing America. We elected someone as president who wants to change America, who wants to make it more like the rest of the world. And so he undermines the Constitution, and he undermines free enterprise by expanding government. And he betrays our allies and cuts deals with our enemies and guts our military. And that's why 2016 is a turning point
Is
in
the
our history.
Patriot Act a figment of
We elect Hillary
imagination?
Clinton, the next 4 years will be worse than the last 8.
Must be.
And our children will be the first Americans ever to inherit a diminished country. But if we elect the right person, if you elect me, we will turn this country around. We will reclaim the American dream. And this nation will be stronger and greater than it has ever been.
I like him.
He needs to grow up.
How old is he, by the way?
He needs to grow up.
I know, isn't he adorable?
This guy's nose.
So
I
adorable.
can't.
Tomorrow morning, a new movie will debut about the incredible bravery of the men fighting for their lives in Benghazi and the politicians that abandoned them. I want to speak to all our fighting men and women. I want to speak to all the moms and dads whose sons and daughters are fighting for this country, and the incredible sense of betrayal when you have a commander-in-chief who will not even speak the name of our enemy, radical Islamic terrorism, when you have a commander-in-chief who sends $150 billion to the Ayatollah Khamenei, who's responsible for murdering hundreds of our servicemen and women. I want to speak to all of those maddened by political correctness, where Hillary Clinton apologizes for saying all lives matter. This will end. It will end on January 2017. And if I am elected president, to every soldier and sailor and airman and Marine, and to every police officer and firefighter and first responder risks their lives to keep us safe, I will have your back.
You really don't do it for me? No, I'm fine. I'm good.
I stood yesterday with 75 construction workers. They're tough, they're strong, they're great people. Half of them had tears pouring down their face. They were watching the humiliation of our young 10 sailors sitting on the floor with their knees in a begging position, their hands up, and Iranian wise guys having guns to their heads.
We understand.
It's a terrible sight. A terrible sight. And the only reason we got them back is because we owed them, with a stupid deal, $150 billion. If I'm president, there won't be stupid deals anymore. We will make America great again. We will win.
He can find a tone of the voice. He can deliver the message. Sometimes stupidly, sometimes.
I want to know,
Thank you all.
who's he going to file bankruptcy with? Who's the government going to file bankruptcy with?
Everyone to make sure everyone was able to say.
He won't have the government to save
I got
him
people
online.
upset. All right, thank you for joining us. Much more to come in the spin room ahead.
Our special coverage of the 6th Republican presidential debate continues live from North Charleston right here on the Fox Business Network.
Okay, show is over.
All right, you guys. Back on Bearcat and Periscope. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're about to do our closing thoughts about the debate and what we thought about it.
Guys, just some final statement. Can you mute it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what is your like general impression? What is
We'll go one by one. We'll start. You want me to start?
I'll let you start.
Okay. So, I feel like this debate, pretty much was just a rehash of all the highlights that we've seen previously in other debates. I think Carson is the one with the. Wait, which one's Cruz?
Cruz is. I don't know how to.
Cruz is the one with the nose.
Okay. He came out really good this discussion. I feel like he could combat with Trump a lot. No, not Carson.
Oh, Cruz is the one with the nose. Yeah.
I think last debate he was a lot more shy. He wasn't speaking as confidently as he was this debate. When it comes to Trump, he was just being his regular self, just super obnoxious. Like, nothing new coming from him other than America should be great again and he's gonna fix it. The other ones, what's the chubby one?
Here we go. They're all right here.
You see, you even cannot remember the names. It's already displaced. It's already explained.
Right?
And the main dragon lady that was on before, she was
Dragon lady?
Yeah, the one that was like
Early, like debate?
Who was it?
Carly, the last debate?
No, she was in the pre-rounds. Carolina, that's her name, Yana?
Carolina Ferrer or something.
Yeah, she's just really, I don't know, she seems
She's really bitchy and kind of really mean and aggressive.
Very bitter, like old bitter lady. That's the vibe she was giving today.
Okay. I just feel like not much got accomplished. I mean, I feel like they just kind of, like you said before, Ted Cruz kind of was a little bit more confident. But I feel like it's just kind of a little bit repetitive and just
Republican. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I feel like that, like it wasn't, I feel like not much got accomplished, I guess you could say. Like the stuff that, besides defending themselves, I feel like it's more of like a defense thing, like one attacking the other, defend, like more stress on like, but this isn't true, this isn't true, this is true, this, like, instead of, promoting themselves. What do you guys think?
Let's start with Yana. Tell us what you thought about the debate in a whole, because you were with us for a long time. So
I left and then I came back. Yeah.
And who do you think won the debate?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't think anybody can win this because it's the same every single time. You can actually literally broadcast the same debate and people would know the difference.
Good point. Very good point.
Yeah, and then they're all the same. I can summarize it very well. America's the best, the greatest country in the world. You got to control everyone else, military, and we got to spend a lot of money on the military, and we're gonna have guns, and and we have to avoid Muslims, and that's pretty much it.
Exactly. I feel like it's the same thing.
Yeah, I want to wash my hands of all these.
Like for me, like that's what I love about the Democratic debates. Like the last one that just happened, they weren't really slugging for each other. It was more or less, okay, we're all working as a team, and we're all working to try to fix the country. Whoever wins, but we're all here to fix it.
I feel like it was more of, I feel like it was more of saying, this is how we're going to do something. It's more of like, this is why I'm better than this person. This can do, like, they're not really focused on fixing.
Us. It's an ego thing.
It's exactly.
Republicans are very egocentric. No.
Yeah, so they fight each other.
Some Republicans are very egotistical. I'm going to say some because then they'll come for me. Like, who are you?
I'll come for you.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding.
But Pedro, you saw some of the debate too. What did you think? Who struck your eye when you saw it?
Oh, I think nobody caught my eye to the fullest. I think it was honestly more the same. But I'm actually waiting for some of these candidates to drop. We have 10 candidates in the Republican thing, so I mean, it's just if some of them drop, then the numbers will shift, and maybe Trump might not be the leader anymore. But I think it was more the same, and I'm concerned for the Republican Party because at the end of the day, I don't think they have anything going on for themselves. So,
is Cruz Latino?
I don't think so.
Cruz?
He was like born in Canada, and his parents were Americans,
but he's. I wonder what I haven't.
He gives me like a hall monitor vibe, right?
No, I don't think that.
Hall monitor, like that guy who just like would tell on everyone.
Yeah. He does look like a little bit of a squeal.
A tattletale.
And I also think that I don't know if they spoke about the State of the Union. Or maybe I missed it if they did, but I think they could have gotten a lot of airtime just by speaking about the State of the Union that was 2 days ago.
They talked about the leader of that State Union pretty much throughout the whole time, and I think they were really harsh on Obama. I think they.
I mean,
What's the point of pointing out what he did wrong? He's at the end of his career. Like, let's go ahead and focus on what you're gonna do.
But people don't want to see it again, especially when you're in the if you're at a Republican debate or you're watching a Republican debate. You're so Republican, and Obama's so it's just
they treat it like a sports game, like a rival game. Like
they need to have someone to beat.
I see both sides.
Whipping boy. They need to have whipping boy, so it's okay.
Because it's like the Jets versus the Patriots kind of vibe, where it's like the Patriot, like they're making fun of the Patriots over there, and the Jets are making fun of them. So they're just like coming together and just like screaming at each other. Just.
And what do you think?
Alina, she had a lot to say last time. The debate we had last time, she was ended up on the demo.
I missed it. No, I missed the.
You're here.
Here. Oh, I remember. They talked cliche, so nothing new. Very boring.
It's boring.
It was a little boring.
Super basic.
Very basic.
Very obvious. Very boring. So they have the biggest enemy in the world is a Muslim for some reason. So my mom is Muslim. It means that she's the biggest enemy. So I don't know.
It's such a
nothing new, and it's just if you translate it in any other language and show, and it will have a bad experience and show how limited the mind can be,
I understand completely what you're saying, completely. Because when people hear Americans talk outside of America and it's not on the TV, we look stupid, honestly. Countries look at us and it's like, things that you guys are having trouble with should be common sense things. Like, why do you need a law to tell you, like, these things? You know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like...
And we have laws on the most basic things. Which is, I feel like, why? A little bit.
The fact that a mother goes to jail because she lied about her address so she could send her child to a better school, that's a problem to me.
I remember that.
Yes. That is a problem. Like, what is... At this point, the laws are not made for humanity. They're made for the best interest of the people that govern us, pretty much. Where you're able to do a loophole here, a loophole here. Like, look at our food industry. Our food industry is a great example where we Americans aren't speaking up when it comes to what's being in our food. In Europe, of course you're not going to eat chemicals and GMO items. Like, that should be a given. Like, you don't want to eat bleach. Like, why should that be added into something in my American food? And why do I have to beg you to tell me that? Hey, Masato, do you mind telling me if you're putting any chemicals in my food? Because like I'm kind of ingesting it. So could you tell me? Like, why do I have to ask you to tell me that? So, I mean, I feel like this discussion today was awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on War of Words.
Thank you, everyone at Periscope and Blab.
We look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday because that's when our next debate's going to be. So,
yeah,
Sunday. All of you guys here.
Democratic debate. Let's bash them. Let's crush them.
Well, let's just discuss.
I think it'll be fun because
I think Carl's secretly a Republican. He has a very Republican vibe he's giving me lately.
Me?
He's a Republican.
Secretly.
No, he's not Republican.
I just for common sense, I just for common sense. So, it's not about me, but from my point,
yeah.
Now it's about Kirill because he's a star user. It's about you now, Kirill. But yeah, you guys, good night. Thank you so much for co-hosting with me.
Yeah, thank
my
you.
Awesome, beautiful blonde bombshell over here. She was here, and
it's been all day,
right?
Oh yes, actually. Yeah.
I feel like I've been here all day.
All right, you guys. So peace out. Thank you so much for joining us, and
thank you everyone on Periscope again and Blab. Make sure to check us out on Sunday.
So bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, okay. Hi, Nectar. Can you speak? I see you, but I'm not hearing you. Let me kill it. No. Oh, he disappeared. Okay. Oh. I'll come back. Yeah, you come back. You're already stepping out. Oh, no? Oh, yes. I see you and hear you. I can see you. Hello? Okay. Okay. Let me launch. I don't know what to launch even because all channels just keep crashing. Like, Friends 24/7, like, coming live events. They even shut it down. Everything. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm at the airport.
You're at the airport already. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
We messed up the schedule, so tomorrow morning they will fix the guys.
Thank you. And also because you did some changes here.
Yes.
Place.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but the takeover is because the system right now doesn't recognize that we are moderator one. That's why we have to fix the schedule. We are a super admin. That's why.
I won't just leave for the night, and Kevin tomorrow will compile some clip from different pieces, and we can run this maybe.
It was good. It was a good day.
Generally, yes. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Okay.
I haven't slept for 3 days. You haven't slept for 2 days or something.
Yeah. Similar to that.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Kirill.
Oh, someone else coming also. Okay, I will launch some channel. I don't know which one
Mm-hmm.
because they all keep crashing. Have a good flight, Nectar. Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, let's launch Sky News at least. But do we have any content? The search label again reverted back.
I did it.
Why?
It was Chip Kelly. It's something else. It was some weird. So I fixed it to Chip Kelly only.
No, it was 89th. It's the name of the team. NFL team.
Oh.
It is what is it? NLF.
NFL.
NFL, of course. National and Football League, of course. NFL, yes. Okay, at least let's put NFL because it will bring more content.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Okay, let's leave it like it is.
You see that we have also Facebook.
Yes, actually, yes.
And Google.
And Google. Oh.
Only YouTube is missing.
Very, very good. Would we have any pictures?
We will make it. We have to make it custom because those pictures, they come in really huge analysis and they make the system crash.
No, of course we don't need real pictures. Yeah, we need just some pictures embedded into tweets.
Yeah. But we
like
have
not initial source, but not people display it.
We have to research that.
Okay, I will relaunch all other things. Yeah. Let's like